Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Joy of Puzzles. I have something for you a little bit different today, a 3D puzzle. This is the Lord of the Rings Puzzleball that was manufactured in 2005 by the Blue Opal Company in Australia. Tough company to track down. In April of 2020, their website seems to have been taken down, though apparently they still own it. I went through the Wayback Machine. Those of you know, on the internet you can go through the history of websites and such, and they started back in 2001. At no point did they ever really give detailed information about their company. The Puzzleball design seems to have first appeared in around 2003 on their website, and they did a lot of what you would expect, globes and things of that nature, and eventually this puzzle along with some others. Tough to find. The patent for the 3D spherical puzzle was issued in 2002 to a company in China, and while that patent would have been good until the year 2022, they only paid to keep it active until 2012. So that technology is free out there for anyone who wants to start this as a business. The image on the puzzle, from the Lord of the Rings movie, was not given to any particular artist, so that the credit goes to the folks at Tolkien Enterprises, which is licensed under the New Line Production Company. These are scenes right from the movie. So, is it an artist? Well, certainly an artist made this image, but they were not very specific on the box as to who that individual would be. This puzzle is 540 pieces, and it took 8 hours to build. So, strategically, right, what do you do with a spherical puzzle? Well, I like to start with the edges. Just kidding. Yes, it is a sphere. Alright, the little instruction manual that comes with this thing says, start with the bottom, and then continuously build your way around the sphere. Well, frankly, that's not possible. The puzzle is odd. I did build the top and bottom image, but then the plain brown expanse that covers the globe, which is really just a map, is so small and the image is so blurry that you can't tell what the text says, you can't tell where the rivers are, you can't tell where the boundaries are, so that process was a giant waste of time. So I gave up on that pretty darn quickly, and instead started to build the iconic images on the puzzle, laid out flat, along with a lot of the bright images. Now, what you'll see is I have sorted a number of the brown pieces, and the odd thing is all the pieces are numbered. Not in a particularly useful way that piece 1 connects to piece 2 in some sort of obvious manner, but at least when I was looking at the plain brown pieces, I could tell if they were based at the top or the bottom of the sphere just based on the numbering scheme. So that's a useful little hint, because the pieces, well, I'll get into the review in a little bit, but it presents some real challenges. So being able to sort the top and bottom pieces was helpful, and I would strongly recommend it. I mean, their theory is clearly that having the numbers of the pieces, you'd be able to build the entire puzzle in that way, but again, yeah, not really. So, having given up on the top and bottom, and moved on to the iconic images, I would build chunks of the sphere as though it were a flat puzzle. And I hit a point where I felt I had enough large expanses that I could attempt to construct the sphere itself. Well, when I got enough to build, or we'll call it a circumference of the puzzle, the thing just kept falling apart on me. It is not the most stable item until you really fill in the majority of the gaps. So you'll see me struggle with this thing and pieces fall apart and break down on me. One little tip is, when you do get pieces together, flip the puzzle over so that you're looking at the the non-image surface and use the flat surface of the table to press those pieces together, snap fit them together as much as possible, and create as smooth a sphere as possible. Otherwise, you just struggle with the next pieces that are bound to go in there. Yeah, let's review this puzzle. All right, let's go into the 4 categories on a scale of 1 to 5. The first category is the puzzle material quality. Now, normally I would say paperboard and how well it was imaged. You know, the image was bonded to it. Well, these are injection molded plastic pieces, so frankly, the quality is perfect. There is no delamination. There is no like burrs or edges or pieces that can fall apart. It is literally perfect pieces, every one of them. So we're going to give that a 5 as far as the quality of the actual piece goes. The next category, though, is we'll go with piece design. It's not cut quality because these are, again, injection molded pieces. So there is no actual cut. They didn't mold this as a sphere, put an image on it, and then punch all these pieces out. That's not how you would manufacture this. While the actual pieces are perfect, the design is not. The design is really flawed, to be honest. Imagine like a soccer ball, right? You have a certain number of designed pieces to create this sphere. Well, the same thing is here. There is basically what I felt were 6 different piece types at most, and most of them were interchangeable. I constantly could fit pieces in the wrong spot, especially on the top and bottom where it was just plain brown, and realized later on I'd take a peek on the inside and the number wouldn't make sense, or it would be off just a little, but the darn things fit perfectly. So it was, I gotta give it a 2 at best for the design of the pieces. And realistically, there's 1 basic shape, but with some slight variations, I'll say there was 6. So I'm going to give this a 2 for the design. Difficulty. Well, pretty high. 8 hours for 540 pieces. So I'm going to give this a 4 for difficulty. The other challenge is just keeping it together. It just constantly would crumble in my hands and fall apart, and then trying to get a piece to fit in there, I had to leave enough space at the top and bottom so I could get my hand inside the puzzle so that I could fill in the random side pieces that I had not found when I was building those sections of the puzzle. So difficulty is definitely a 4. Frameability, well, it's pretty clever, right? It's a neat little image. You certainly can't frame it, but it is something that I'm going to not take apart and put on a shelf. So I'll give this a 3. It's a movie poster, presented in a unique kind of way. It is a little fragile for people to manipulate, but I'm still going to give it a 3 frameability-wise. Overall, I'm inclined to give this a 3. With the caveat that I probably will never build this again. But it is satisfying when it's done. The 8 hours were a little bit of a grind, but it is quite unique. There are obviously not a lot of these in the world. The technology was patented and licensed to only a couple manufacturers, and it has since vanished, gone out of business, so you're not going to run into these very often. So it does make it a unique puzzle experience, so I'll give it a 3. Alright, what can I say about this puzzle? Good grief. It definitely was more of a struggle than I was looking for, with the difficulty being high and the piece style being the same. I will not take this puzzle apart because I don't want to build it again. I mean, you see here at the end, I have the little title, The Lord of the Rings, and I would break it down to its smallest section, or a section big enough that I could just get my hand in the puzzle, and I constantly had to rebuild these plain brown portions of the map because of the piece design allowed me to put pieces where they clearly did not belong. In the end, I just kind of snapped the top piece in there, and it's kind of fragile. Yeah, well, anyways, not that you can find this puzzle anywhere. I probably wouldn't recommend it. Yeah, it's a weird one. Alright, I appreciate everyone that took 10 minutes out of their day to listen to me ramble about this weird puzzle. If you liked the video, go ahead, click the like button. I appreciate everyone there that takes that time, and I look forward to bringing you more puzzle videos in the very near future. Maybe even some more 3D puzzles, just not this one. Thanks again, everyone. Bye.